Welcome everyone to another episode of Lancescurv. It's kind of late over on this side of town. I had some business to take care of all day long, and it's a good thing, put it that way. And I took my time. I enjoyed the day, but I had to go far. And I want to give a big shout out to my dear sister who I ran into today. I don't want to say her name in black publicly. If she wants me to, I'll do it in another episode. Another young lady I met that acknowledged me, and we were talking for a bit. But the main one you saw on video, and my brother Wizard, we're going to do some things coming up before the end of the month. We definitely have to get footage of that. The more it's certain, which it is, you'll know about it. But I just have to give credit where credit is due. Gina E. She was the one who suggested this show, and it was right on point. And very powerful sister. She's in the chat room right now. Very influential. Even though it seems I'm a bit busy at times, I'm still impacted by what you share. And there's so many other people like that in my life, but we have those special ones. And this is why I did the show today. Because this is something we have to continually talk about. Let me just say before I start to share my little jotted down notes, and I am on fire tonight. I'm a little tired. I'm going to go through everything, not rushing it, but this may not be a 5-hour show, but it's going to be something really, 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 really forceful. You know, a lot of us out here, we are just not vibrating as we should. We're not vibrating as we should. We're really below. Dumbed down is not even, dumbed down is too good for some of these people. And who do I think I am? Do I think I'm better than anybody? No. I'm affected by being in this world too. I'm pulling the cobwebs off of me also. But the more I see, I have to call it like I see it. And maybe there's somebody on a higher level than me who would say, hey, this guy, he could be a whole lot better, a whole lot more. And I have no problem with that. But the thing is, we're moving in a place. I'm not going to speak about because people who want to vote for Kamala Harris, that's your America. You can have it. When stuff starts hitting the fan, don't, keep that same energy. Because I'm going to say, hey, listen, remember, people want to be, and they want to stay brainwashed, it seems. It seems like they want to stay brainwashed. It's like they don't want to come out of it. I'm not saying I know and see everything, but they're not even open to responding to something that is a little broader than the thing they know. Get up, go to work, come home, go down the same block, do the same things, masturbate to the same porn, eat the same embalming foods, talk the same stuff from 30, 40 years ago. Some of y'all want to die. Some of y'all are living. You're not living. Some of you all are alive and not living, but you're alive just enough to get by and not challenge yourself and not to look. You couldn't even crawl when you came out of your mother's womb, right? You can walk now, but that's enough for you. We are supposed to be better when we transition on up out of here. We're supposed to make improvements. We're supposed to get better. And sometimes we don't get better at the same rate. Sometimes it takes a little longer than others. Some get it when they're 90 and do far better than the person who got it when they were 15 and didn't push anymore. You just don't know. You just don't know when your vehicle is going to break on the side of the road. You know what I mean? Keep yourself tuned up. Keep yourself striving to get better mentally, physically, and spiritually. Sharpen your swords when you have idle time. Therefore, it's not idle time. And I don't mean just a sword. Yeah, if you need to keep a sword with you, yeah, some of these hoods by all means. But what I mean to say with that is that you have the spiritual, you have the mental. Some of us are dull and dumbed. Yeah. Gina E said some people will do home improvements quicker than they will do spiritual improvements. Of course. Because see, you can see the home improvement. You can see the BBL. You can see the plastic surgery, but you can't see the person on the inside. This is how we get duped. We're going to talk about food tonight, and I'm going to go in, and I want to speak about something else afterwards. Sheila Williams, welcome on in. Long time. Yes, great day. Over here is nighttime, I have to say. It's 12:52 a.m. in West Africa. And I'm in good spirits. I have a lot of things coming within days, projects and things and movement, and I'm just overjoyed. I'm in my zone. It's not anything frivolous or anything hedonistic. It's what I have to do and my craft, the journey and what I do. We all have our things we do. We all have our roads that we travel. We all have our missions on things we have to do. And that's what I'm all about. Oh, I can have fun. We're going to tell some jokes sometime. I'm a crazy guy like that. But at the core, it is what it is. And it's all about a serious thing. In today's world, food has transitioned from a source of nourishment to a corporate weapon of profit. Once a vital necessity for sustaining life, it has now become a drug, manipulated, engineered, and tainted with chemicals designed to increase sales, maximize shelf life, and stimulate addictive consumption. The tragedy, the cost of this shift is not only our health, but also our lives. Food, now laden with sugars, preservatives, hormones, and toxins, is not only making us sick, but is pushing us into early graves. The sad reality is that many people, especially in the Black community, are unaware of just how drastically the food on our plates has changed. Not too long ago, food was wholesome. Meals were prepared from ingredients that were locally grown, seasonal, and rich in nutrients. Families raised their own chickens, grew their own vegetables, and fished from clean waters. It was food that nourished the body and kept sickness at bay. Heart disease, diabetes, and obesity were not rampant in communities because food was a medicine in itself. We ate what was available from the earth, untainted by chemical or corporate greed. However, as corporate interests saw the potential profit in processed and packaged foods, the tides began to change. The emphasis shifted from nutrition to taste, from sustaining the body to exciting the palate. And as food changed, so did the health of entire populations. As the food industry grew, so did its hunger for more profits. Big corporations, realizing the financial gain, began to manipulate food by adding unnatural levels of sugar, fat, and chemicals that excite the brain's pleasure centers. Culinary crack is what I call it. Sugar, in particular, became the cornerstone of this transformation. Food companies knew that sugar triggers the same pleasure centers in the brain as drugs like cocaine, making it addictive. Former FDA representatives have admitted that if they knew what they know now about sugar, they would have classified it as a drug decades ago. Food today is so chemically engineered and processed that it barely resembles what our grandparents ate. We are consuming empty calories, saturated fats, artificial dyes, and preservatives designed to make products fast, last, and fast. Make it fast and make it last for months on a shelf. These ingredients act like embalming fluid in our bodies. You ever try McDonald's French fries and feel the little thing, little stickiness on the top of your roof of your mouth? Well, guess what? That's some of the same chemicals they use in embalming fluid on deceased people. It clogs our arteries, disrupting our hormones and leading us down a path of slow destruction. Yet, with an onslaught of commercials, advertisements, and catchy slogans and jingles, we continue to crave what is killing us. Junk food has become a culture, especially among children who are bombarded with brightly colored packages and sugary treats, leading them into a lifetime of poor health. As we consume these foodstuffs, we are unknowingly making big pharma and the medical industry rich. The connection between our food and the pharmaceutical industry is undeniable. As we eat ourselves into diabetes, heart disease, and obesity, we become reliant on medications that manage symptoms rather than address the root cause. The food that is supposed to nourish us is slowly killing us, and pharmaceutical companies profit from our declining health. Ain't that something? For the Black community, the situation is particularly grim. Many of our neighborhoods are food deserts, filled with stores like Dollar General or Dollar Tree, where affordable options are limited to sugary drinks, processed snacks, and preservative-laden meals. Nutrient-dense fresh food is hard to come by, and the lack of knowledge about proper nutrition only adds to the problem. We've been disconnected from our roots, where food was celebrated for its life-giving properties. Now we celebrate fast food, fried foods, and chemical-laced junk. Even the wealthiest and most famous among us are not exempt from the consequences of poor eating habits. Despite their riches, celebrities have succumbed to illnesses tied to bad nutrition. Here are 10 well-known Black public figures who face severe health issues due to poor diet choices. Now, you'll see some of them on this banner. I just want to say, I'm not throwing off on them because they had things that possibly could have been caused by nutrition. Maybe it was environmental, but I chose faces throughout different generations that many of us would recognize, not just the young folks who were under 20 or the older folks who are over 70. I gave a mixture. I could have put more people on and the faces would have been narrower and you wouldn't recognize them. But it's kind of a collage. Now listen, we're all going to transition. Why can't it be in our sleep with natural causes? But usually because of the food that we eat, the chemicals we take in our body, the things that are out of our control, and they're spraying things in the air, especially in America, where we don't know what that is that's going to sneak up on us years from now. But what we can control, we should be able to control. We should have the presence of mind to control it. Real good, clean, wholesome food is a must, and nothing can beat it. Our minds have been prostituted into accepting this thing as normalcy. Day in and day out, day in and day out. The jingles, the songs that make it seem so innocent, the bright packages. Our kids look, Mommy, McDonald's. Look, if you put a picture of an apple and a picture of McDonald's Big Mac or some Happy Meal, which one are your children? And when I use the word lust, I'm not saying in a sexual way. Which one are they going to lust for more? Now we know one apple is not a full meal. But let's say there was a mixture with fruit, vegetables, and different things. And if they see that McDonald's Happy Meal, they're going to want that more. Oh, I'm hungry. I want McDonald's. But where in nature do you find McDonald's? We need to go back to nature. Yes. But what is nature when you live in the concrete jungle? What is nature when you don't live by the sun? Yes, I know that many of us can't because of where we find ourselves. But when you wake up, you're going to want to change your life, even if it means making a little less money, even if it means a little more of a commute, even if it means leaving the system altogether. Ultimately, that was a feeling in my heart for many, many decades. So it didn't happen overnight. So when people see me, they say, oh, well, yeah, Lance, you're lucky. No, I've been thinking about this for a long time. It didn't happen overnight. It was there for many decades before the execution was made. Nika G, welcome on in. Let me just put this up on the screen here. Thank you for this topic. People need to hear this. We become zombies for this stuff called food, with the FDA inserting their version of food that's banned in many countries. Exactly. Yes, Sheila Williams. I'm sorry, getting it mixed up. Gina E. Right? Sheila Williams. Lack of knowledge concerning food passed down from generation to generation, and we're forgetting. We're forgetting them $3-4 macaroni and cheese is just as much food to the young folks and some older ones as something taken out of the garden. We don't even have a connection to the food to realize, wow, remember when we planted this? Let me get on to these 10. And there's a couple words in my research that I'm just not going to be able to pronounce because of how long it is and these conditions, right? Let's pick one first. Bernie Mac suffered from sarcoidosis, I think that's the way you say it, a disease that has been linked to poor nutrition and lifestyle factors, okay? Luther Vandross battled obesity and diabetes, which contributed to his early death. Again, I'm not trying to put down anybody. We all can have things and struggle with things in the present time because it takes time to have the effect on our bodies and internal organs, right? But it's scary when you think about it that way. We want this car and we want this other car. We want all these things externally and we take care of them. We don't take care of our bodies. I'm not throwing off anybody here. I'm not saying it about the celebrities. We all have somebody in our home and in our circles or our families who may be ailing. This is not to make fun of anybody. It's just to point it out because these faces that we know so well, maybe you know one of them, maybe you don't know any of them, but you know, I chose the faces up there, you know, and thank you for your kind words, Nika G. Thank you so much. James Brown struggled with diabetes and complications from poor health. And then think of the lifestyle. You know, when we see people and celebrities, especially in the day, you know, most of the time we see them after they're made up and dressed up and at a function. We don't see them sitting in the bedroom with the funky underwears on and the big things of French fries they're eating. You know what I mean? We don't see them that way. We feel they're gonna live forever, and it's a shock when they don't. And they have the same issues that we do. Some of them have it worse. Some of them are addicted to hard drugs, and we don't know it. Many are addicted to food. Look at James Brown. He never looked like he was big and out of shape. And it's not about being big and out of shape. The whole thing, personally, for me, what I've learned, and I have to do it myself, is keep your weight down. Simply. And I'm not a doctor. I can't recommend any type of health tips or whatever. I'm just thinking out loud. Just imagine you have an 18-wheeler with a vacuum clean or a lawnmower engine inside of it. It's too much. The lawnmower that you sit in cannot power an 18-wheeler, right? It can't do it. So here we are with our internal organs, our heart, our liver, our kidneys, all these things, and our body's bigger than what it's supposed to be. You see, we have genetic limitations on our height and really on our weight. When in an environment where we're getting natural food, where you eat the food and it's not full of sugar, not full of salt, and when you're finished with the plate, even before you finish it, I'm full already. You see what I mean? And we had to get up and dig our food, hunt for our food. We didn't have these big refrigerators way back in the day. I'm just throwing that out there. Food, life was centered around food. And it wasn't centered around the way it is now, where we're centered around food, junk food. We had to go get it Hunger was a motivating force. Get up, you're hungry. Maybe you had something picked, some fruit and stuff, but you got to get out there and get it. And so we sat around socially. We were healthier with each other. We didn't have the dysfunctional families that we do now. Excuse me. And they were there. The more we got away from nature, the more dysfunctional we became. So it's not just about calories and proteins and essential fats and complex carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, water. No, it's more to it than that. I'm going to do another show. I'm going to talk about this tonight, but the spiritual side of food. Who prepares your food? What's the energy in their hands touching your food? Right? You see, we talk about, and this is going way out there, right? This has nothing to do with this topic, but we talk about pedophiles. Imagine you had a pedophile preparing food for you and you're a little child. That's part of grooming that we don't talk about because that person is sick spiritually. What happens if you're hanging out with one and don't know it and they're preparing food for you? I'm not saying it's going to turn you into that, but we're energy beings. We have to change our thinking, see ourselves as energy beings. And on the physical level, the backbone of that is proper nutrition. How are you going to have electricity in your house, but you have no wires? How are you going to have good health and you don't have all of the things that you need, the building blocks? It just can't work. Aretha Franklin suffered from pancreatic cancer, often associated with diet and lifestyle. Heavy D died from a pulmonary embolism, a condition often related to obesity. Della Reese battled diabetes for much of her life. George Duke, the legendary musician, passed from chronic leukemia. And while not directly diet related, maintaining poor health habits exacerbated his condition. Not to say nothing, but you can tell that Duke, what's the song he made that I love? I want you for myself. I don't want no one else. I do. I can't sing, y'all. Please don't get off the show because I scared you. But I love that song. I love that one. I'm gonna play it after the show. I wish I can play it during the show, but you know, YouTube is gonna smack me off again. Look, I'm the bad boy on YouTube, and they always, oh, Lance did it. He said it. If I sneeze on the show the wrong way, they'll try to give me a strike and take down my channel. That's the way it is. But that's why we have Lancescurv.com. You can always go there because we don't embed YouTube shows on there anymore. We go with other people. Sharon Jones fought pancreatic cancer, possibly linked to poor diet over the years. John Witherspoon, the comedian, struggled with heart disease, which is often exacerbated by poor eating habits. Chadwick Boseman, his colon cancer has stirred debates about the links between processed food, additives, and rising rates of such diseases in younger generations. Wow. That's usually something back in the day that was, people that were a little older, right? These individuals, despite their fame and fortune, were not immune to the toxic effects of poor dietary choices. Their death are a stark reminder that no amount of success can protect you from the impact of unhealthy eating. Food today is engineered to be addictive, much like hard drugs. People may be quick to look down on addicts of heroin, cocaine, or meth, but the reality is that food addiction is just as dangerous and widespread. Junk food triggers the same pleasure responses in the brain as addictive substances, leading to cycles of living and overconsumption. Fast food, sugar-laden snacks, and highly processed meals are engineered to be addictive, leading to overeating and eventually serious health and heart complications. It's not just physical, it's psychological. The more we eat, the more we crave, and the cycle continues, trapping us in a state of nutritional enslavement. And let me add on to that. It's not just what we eat, it is psychological, because guess what? We have people who may have emotional issues. This thing is, the human mind and body, spirit, and soul is so intertwined in a healthy way, right? But when one thing is affected, everything else is affected to maybe a smaller degree. This is why with Western medicine, if you have a problem with your foot, there's a foot doctor. If you have a problem with your eyes, you have a problem, but it doesn't work that way. An original African culture is slowly being sold out to the Western mindset. The true African healers knew that if you were ailing in one area of your existence, say, for example, of course, the physical, it still had an effect on your spiritual and your mental. How can you be mentally 100% when you're sick, when you're ailing? You can't be. How can you be spiritually well? Now, here's another one that I've begun just in my own readings and studies. I'm not saying this stuff is law, but think about it, because I like to talk about thought-provoking things. Imagine spiritually sick. Don't you think it'll creep over into the physical? If you're mentally sick, it may creep over into the physical and the spiritual. If you're physically sick, you may get cranky and evil because you're sick and dealing with this bit of discomfort. I compare it to this. For those who own automobiles and will rotate your tires or even buy new tires or have the new tires rotated and get a tune-up. Say you have a vehicle that is a couple of years old, right? Not 2 or 3 or 4, but 6 years old, 8 years old. Good running condition, you keep it up. But you've been busy for a couple of months and you forgot to rotate the tires, right? Maybe you need new tires, but you go in for a total tune-up, and when you drive the car out, you say, whoa, this car's running smooth. I put my foot on the gas and it moves off. Can't believe this. See, you feel it instantly when you get that tune-up, right? But for such a long time, you were driving the car in subpar conditions. It was, the wheels needed rotating, the oil needed changing, the engine needed a tune-up, even them cleaning it up in a way. When somebody puts their hands on your vehicle and they do a good job, you can see it when they detail it. And it's like you have a brand new vehicle. So what I mean to say is that before you got that tune-up on that vehicle, you were used to the vehicle running subpar. You didn't even consciously think. You just decided, well, let me just go ahead and do this. Well, this is the same thing it is with our bodies. We're so used to feeling bad, and we use the stimulants to feel good, the salt, the sugar, see, and the hard drugs, that's not really feeling good. The sugar rush feels good temporarily, but it's not a healthy thing, see? And so when we clean out, detox, clean up our diet, make sure to get our rest, keep our thoughts proper, meditate on a spiritual level. And meditation is physical also, because you're helping to align and tune up everything together. And so when you find yourself in this space, just like if you go on a vacation, which really is much too short, when you find yourself out of the usual rhythm of being in the rat race, those who are in that, because you can be out of the rat race physically and still not relax. You see what I mean? So that's why I say everything is so intertwined. But when you come back from that period of, it may be where your body forces you to meditate and sit your behind down by allowing you to become sick because you've been run down so much. See, that's it. We're going to make you sit down. And you get sick, and you might have a bad case of something with your stomach. You go into the bathroom, but after a couple of days, maybe a stomach virus or whatever. I'm not saying go out there and get a stomach virus. All I'm saying is that as you begin to recuperate, you're like, wait a second, the stomach feel kind of empty. I'm pulling the belt in on a few more of these little notches. This kind of feels good. You still feel weak. And then sometimes we say, well, you know what? I'm going to stay eating good now since I feel this way. That's a very good thing, because your body talks to you. Your body talks to you. It lets you know certain things. When you're backed up, you're toxic, you're full of this bad food, and you start to sweat this slimy sweat, everything doesn't just come out, I can say we're adults, out of the anus. We can be overloaded to the point where our colon is packed and it has to come out where? In the skin. Come on now, you know you eat too much mayonnaise or too much dairy products or some, you wake up in the morning with all of this goop in the corner of your eye. That's the excess that comes out the other way. But if you notice in the times when you ate clean, you didn't have to be bothered with that. It comes out in your breath. You know, not to put anybody down, but your breath stinking is indicating what's going on the inside. Don't think, oh, a little mouthwash or a breath mint. It'll be a breath mint with stink breath. It'll be the same thing. That stink breath will overpower any mint. That's like a chronic alcoholic thinking he's going to go home to his wife and just throw in a breath mint. You can still smell that alcohol. You're not getting away. You're not getting away. Mad Guns. Yes. Yes. Scurvinators here. Daxter Clark. Yes, brother. Yes. I just want to thank you all for keeping me informed. Gifty Sine. Yes, I got to start highlighting some of these comments up here. You know? Okay, I missed one up here. I missed a whole lot. We're taught not to eat everybody's cooking, but we'll eat out having no clue who prepared our food. Exactly. Exactly. Nika G says, yo, Lance, I'm going to go to Florida soon, Juno Beach, and meditate. Oh, beautiful. That's a beautiful beach, too. By all means. I've been on most beaches out there. Sine says, they purposely make food unhealthy and hard for us to find information. This is all connected to the powerful pharmaceutical industry cartel. That's what they are. That's what they are. Yes, Daxter Clark is at work. Plantation now, from what you're saying. You know, yeah. Thank you, brother. Thank you for being here. And the Scurvinator, the originator of the Scurvinator name, Mad Guns Forever. I got to get it trademarked, right? The people who controlled the cigarette industry now controls the food industry, and they do not care about us one bit. Okay, we're going to come back to the comments in a second. Yes, it is Sheila Williams. It's much needed, not because I said so, but it's just much needed. It is, you know. For those interested, Lance and I have 16 hours of pertinent information on the industrial food complex and 3 videos on my channel, Mad Guns Forever, appearances on the Lancescurv show. Yeah, go to the channel. And look, I lost those when they took it down. You know what I mean? So what I'll do is download them, but I will also point it back to your channel to keep your channel growing. Because probably from next week, I'm going to start doing massive uploads, downloads, you know, on safe stuff, okay? But we're still going to do everything daily. And for these weird times I'm going on, because they usually go on 5 o'clock Eastern time with so many different things and projects going on. The shows will go on every day, but they're not going to be earlier, really, but they will be not at 9 at a time. I'll try to put it out ahead of time so you know. That's how it's going to go. Progress, progress, progress. And thank you all for your good energy and prayers and everything. Whatever you want to throw at me energy-wise, whatever you want to call it, it's good. You know, it's good. Yes. Okay. Yes, definitely. Definitely, Daxter. Make sure to do that, because Mad Guns, you know, we go back. Me and Mad Guns go a long way back. Good old cookout music, right? Food today is so addictive, and we don't realize it. And it's not even the food no more. We want the salt and the sugar. Let me tell you something. I knew a dude who was so addicted to sugar that he would come in at night from work. His wife's already sleeping. She'd leave something out for him. He'd take a few bites. Man, he'd go in there and get extra salt, extra sauces, and he would eat dessert. She'd always leave a dessert, but she didn't know how bad his addiction to sugar was. Homeboy, he told me this. He found himself in front of the cupboard with a spoon and the thing of brown sugar and spooning sugar in his mouth and drinking water with it. If that's not an addict, I don't know what is. It's that bad with a lot of us, right? In recent years, Africa has become a major target for the global promotion of genetically modified foods. This campaign, spearheaded by multinational corporations and supported by certain governments, raises serious concerns about the true motives behind pushing GMO products onto populations that already have access to natural, nutrient-rich food sources. The promotion of GMO foods is often disguised as a solution to hunger and food security, but a deeper examination reveals a far more sinister agenda. I want you all to read between the lines. Why is it that Africa, a continent rich in agricultural diversity and fertile land, has become a testing ground for food that is neither natural or necessary? At its core, the introduction of GMO foods into African nations is not about feeding the hungry or improving agriculture. It's about corporate profit and control. These genetically engineered crops are designed primarily for extended shelf life and enhanced durability, making them more convenient for mass production and global trade. The emphasis is on making sales, not on preserving the health and well-being of the local population. African nations are being sold a false promise under the guise of technological advancement, while the real objective is the creation of dependency on foreign corporations and the destruction of Africa's agricultural independence. I'm getting choked up just thinking about this because these people, let's talk about it. Some of the leaders here are freaking stupid. Stupid. I'm going to have to kind of hold myself right now because I may see something that may get me a strike. They're stupid. We already got rich, fertile soil, everything working perfect. And these people pushing GMOs they want to make it seem like it's something so good to help the hungry people in Africa. I look at my backyard. I look over the mountains. I look everywhere. Now, they may show you the inner city, and I'll show you the city where all the banks are and the corporate whatever. That's the minority. It's so much rich soil. And don't you know, when you grow some GMO stuff in the soil is never no good anymore for you to grow anything else. When you're growing something that has no seeds, guess what? Now you have soil that you can't grow your own stuff in. And now you're getting stuff with no seeds. So they look at it like, oh, you're going to get a watermelon from me with seeds and you go stick the seeds in the ground and you can't come back and buy it from me. We want you dependent on buying from us something inferior that is not meant for our bodies. Come on, y'all. I know many of you have seen this on Facebook or Instagram or maybe even YouTube, which I doubt, where they had the two pieces of corn sticking up, two big pieces of corn, one natural, which was a little smaller, and the GMO, the genetically modified ear of corn sticking up out in the wild, which is not wild. It's where we live in the man-made society that's wild. Wouldn't you know, the one that was natural was eaten by many animals who came by and took bite. The genetically modified version, which was bigger and looked stronger and looked more healthier, looked so perfect, didn't even have a couple nibbles on it before. Oh, what is this? We don't want this. This ain't real. The animals know. My father told me, grew up in the country in Jamaica. He told me, if you see birds not eating certain berries, you don't eat it. If the birds don't eat it, you leave it alone. If you don't know, they didn't have apps that showed you what leaf it was and if it's good or not. Follow nature. But we don't follow nature anymore. We follow the corporate entities. You see what I mean? Natural foods, especially those grown in Africa's rich soil, have historically provided optimal nutrition and healing properties for generations. Yet, GMO foods are engineered to prioritize traits like resistance to pests and longer shelf life, often at the cost of nutrient density. While a tomato may look bigger and last longer on the shelf, the essential vitamins and minerals are compromised. Consuming these modified foods over a lifetime robs the body of the necessary nutrients it needs for optimal function, leading to physical breakdowns and chronic illnesses, which is the point of why these corporate entities is not just a matter of, oh, a longer shelf life. No, there's no nutrition in there. What good is it to you? But it's not even just that. It's more sinister than that. They want to wipe us out. Why are they introducing this food stuff, this lookalike food that doesn't have the nutrients in it to the black nations in Africa? They already got us in America. They're already slipping things in, and you don't have to label certain things. We're playing games with us. But they're going to the leaders of these countries. And the people who are coming, you know who I'm talking. Look, you know who I'm talking about. Come on, baby. All I'm gonna say is open the gates. Open the gates. That's a trick question, like they say in school. Listen carefully. Open the gates and take your dollar bills and hand it over. There's 2 words in there that's a name. I'm not going to say nothing more. The algorithms ain't that smart. Why are you so interested in things that you're not a master of, but you want to, what did a black man punch you in the face when you were a kid and you got billions, you got money, man. What is your fixation on destroying black people? It is not even, if you want to destroy them, I'm not saying destroy them. Why you want to jump from one area of expertise that you're known for and come on and be the spokesperson for pushing something on somebody? Just make computers with blue light that comes out that blinds you after a year, something. Just something that we know, oops, I gave it away. But that was an example, right? Because you know who I'm talking about. Shoot. This slow erosion of nutritional value is not something that happens overnight. Over time, the human body becomes malnourished even while consuming seemingly healthy-looking foods. The long-term effects of this silent malnutrition are profound. That's a sentence I could use, profound in. Inside joke. Weakened immune systems, increased susceptibility to diseases, and the gradual degradation of overall health. What's even more alarming is the generational impact. When parents consume nutrient deficient foods, the effects are passed on to their children, leading to weaker, more vulnerable future generations. This is not just about today. It's about the health and survival of entire bloodlines. I just had to stay quiet and let that sink in. Because many of us don't think about it that way. Do they who push this tell you this stuff? No. They want to kill you softly with their food, killing you softly. GMO foods are often praised for their resistance to pests and harsh environmental conditions. But this so-called benefit comes at a cost. The genetic manipulation required to create these traits often introduces harmful chemicals and toxins into the food chain. Herbicides and pesticides are used in abundance on GMO crops, further depleting the soil and polluting the environment. These toxins not only contaminate the food, but also seep into the water supply and affect entire ecosystems. The cumulative effects of consuming chemically treated, genetically altered foods creates a toxic environment within the body that can lead to cancer, hormonal imbalances, and a host of other diseases, which are already happening now. It's already happening now. You got little 12-year-old boys that should be lean, running out, and I'm not saying in the street, but back in the day we had neighborhoods so I can run out in the street. I'm not saying running the streets like you're selling drugs. Just running in the park everywhere they ran to. I'm gonna go to my friend's house, and they run down to the friend's house. They're playing softball. They're playing basketball. They're riding their bikes, and they run inside. And you in the house quiet, and here they come busting to the door. You look, I'm thirsty, and they go drink, and they run back outside again. Now you got little 12-year-old boys on the smartphone, on the computer, on the tablet, sitting there spread eagle, backside looking like a woman who's lactating and pregnant, and he got titties too. You know how many 12-year-old boys and 13-year-old boys I see with cleavage? I'm driving the bus, and these boys are swollen, waterlogged, hormones off. You should be testosteronized at this point, if that's a real word, but you know what I mean. You should be testosteronized. You should be 12 and 13 years old. You know, them feelings start hitting you, and you see a well-shaped woman in the street, and both of you giggling, hee, 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 hee. Not like a woman now, but I'm just saying, like, you laughing, but you ain't really laughing because you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to be a man. And you feel that chemical, natural substance in you that makes you a man hitting you. We don't have that anymore. Now we have young men laying around, but we have young ladies who are masculinized. The hormone thing is off. And I'm telling you, the atrazine that was discovered to turn male frogs into egg-bearing female frogs, that's a fact. I can't get no strike for that. I had to say it Ebonic. I'll say it again in a different way. I cannot receive a strike for that. Okay? I had the old accent coming out. One of my accents when I'm in the street, I got to use it sometime. You know what I mean? Because some people don't want to hear anything other than that. They want that Ebonic thing going on, right? But yeah, look what it's doing. Look, I keep promising it. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to go down to the market. I was there today passing through, and they have the fertilizers there. And when 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, there's atrazine in the bad boy. Not as the 18th ingredient, which it shouldn't be in there anyway. I hope you all know that, and some people don't, that when you have any product, food, anything, the one listed first is what they have the most of, right? The second one, smaller. The third one, smaller. It doesn't mean that it's 80% when it's the first one. It may mean that, well, 33% or 30%, but everything else behind it is 20-something%, and it goes down until it's 100% of the product. But the atrazine is straight atrazine, like straight liquor. Like alcoholics that just go in the bathroom and try to drink rubbing alcohol. They so gone and down the road with the bad boy. We're gone, y'all. A lot of us are gone. And like I said, it affects other parts of us. What are we going to turn into spiritually if we're consuming GMO foods and our bloodlines are getting weaker and weaker? What's going to happen to us? Our masculinized young ladies, aggressive. And I know women have gone through things, but just this overall thing. It's like, what are the dudes going to bend over and the woman going to get behind them? I'm not trying to be lewd, but this is what's happening. Little C-cup 12-year-olds, men, dudes, and sometimes young ladies who are developing a little earlier. Like you shouldn't be built like that. Not at that age. And I'm not looking at it that way. I'm looking at it as it is. We have to talk about these things instead of looking at and see things and just remaining quiet. What happened to the balls of our community to say, no, we don't want this stuff in our country? And I'm speaking to the African leaders. It seems like anything a nerdy other, someone who doesn't look like you, we just accept it. We might as well throw a tap dance in the bad boy. Whatever you say, you want to give us poisons? Honey, we ain't going to use ketchup no more. We're going to use that Gates brand poison. I didn't say no first name now. It could be a brand, you know, read between the lines. It's the Scurvinator school today. Exactly. Unbelievable. I can't do it. One must also question why GMO foods are aggressively promoted in regions like Africa, where food has been grown naturally for centuries. Africa's traditional farming methods are not only sustainable, but also highly effective in producing nutritious and diverse crops. The continent's rich biodiversity ensures that people have access to a wide range of vitamins and minerals under a strong sun. The push for GMO crops threatens to wipe out this diversity, replacing it with a monoculture farming that leaves communities dependent on a narrow range of modified foods. That doesn't sound like fun. Controlled by multinational corporations who are getting rich, and they're not going to eat this stuff. You best believe they'll have their own crops that you can't have access to, and they're killing you off and getting paid at the same time. See, war doesn't look the same on so many different levels. We're looking for bombs and planes to drop some bombs and whatever. No, they're going to get us over time. They don't look the fact that there's an Africa that Black people all over the world are slowly beginning to wake up to. And anybody who talks against it is an agent as far as I'm concerned. Again, I'm going to throw some sand on some people's names. Anybody who is a social media influencer who is always talking down about Africa, and we're what are the initials? I'm not going to say it. We're FB this and BA this and all that, and the funky Africans, and you all smell and you don't have anything over there, and you know good and damn well that you're so smart. You know that it's the bomb over here, meaning not a bomb, not bad, but the bomb meaning good. That's some slang, y'all, if you don't understand what I meant. I still got a little New York inside of me. Unbelievable. And they speak so bad about it, the propaganda, they want to separate us up. Again, Memorandum 46, go to Lancescurv. Matter of fact, I'm going to put the bad boy in the chat room. And they don't like me talking about it. Somebody went in on my site and saved it as a draft. You know what? I'm going to drop it down as much as I can. They don't want you to see the modern day Willie Lynch letter, but it's more than that. I'm gonna talk about it so much until y'all gonna get tired. Please, Les, please don't say it again. I read it already. But there's people who don't know. Earth Angel, welcome. I just looked over at the chat room. I haven't even been looking at the chat room. Oh, I'm so sorry. But yeah, let me just drop that again. Keep sharing it, keep sharing it, keep sharing it. Even if you're not talking in the chat room and you just happen to be here, go to that link and read it. It's not a long read. You'll see what it's all about. And why do we keep thinking these people are so loving and so nice? Is the inferiority complex that bad with us? Really and truly? I mean, we're so messed up in the head that somebody could be coming to us with something off the chain to kill us. So we got sense and we know it and we accept it anyway. Always want to hold the dookie end of the stick with a smile on our face. I don't mind, master. I'll hold it for you. Unbelievable. The motivation behind this corporate takeover of African culture is clear. Control. We're not talking about Janet Jackson's hit Control. No, real control. By replacing natural crops with patented GMO seeds, these corporations lock farmers into a cycle of dependency. Traditional farming methods, where seeds are saved and passed down from generation to generation, are replaced by a system where farmers must buy new seeds every year, often at exorbitant prices. Many people don't realize that. The introduction of GMO crops is not just about food, it's about economic domination and the slow erosion of sovereignty over Africa's resources. Natural foods grown in rich, untainted soils provide the foundation for strong, healthy communities. These foods have been developed over millennia to meet the specific nutritional needs of the people who grow them. GMO foods, on the other hand, are a product of laboratories and corporate greed, designed not with the well-being of humanity in mind, but for maximizing profit. When governments and corporations push these foods onto African nations, they are not solving hunger. They are creating a system of control that will lead to the degradation of health, culture, and independence. The promotion of GMO foods in Africa is a calculated effort to undermine the continent's natural food system, erode its nutritional wealth, and foster a dependency on foreign corporations. By pushing modified, nutrient-poor foods onto populations that have historically thrived on natural diets, these corporations are not just robbing people of their health today, but are also setting up future generations for even greater suffering. The time to resist this insidious takeover of African agriculture is now, right now, before the consequences become irreversible. It is crucial for Africans to stand firm in protecting their natural resources, safeguarding their health, and rejecting the corporate imposition of genetically modified foods designed for control, not care. Couple of solutions. Not about GMOs, just overall. That's a whole separate battle. And the leaders are accepting it. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know. And in the age of censorship, talking about this stuff, I couldn't even mention names like I wanted. There's certain incidents that are happening right now. It breaks my heart. I'm sitting here talking about all the fresh fruits and stuff we can grow and eat, and you come, it's like we can't get a break from these people, man. Here they come. Whatever you have natural going on and you're happy with it and they can't control it. I'm going to use the word God. Is that a sin now? I can say creator and God and most high, but whatever, whoever created all of this, who created the natural system is so vast that if we were to see their face, I'm not saying it just as a man, or it's just it's the both energies, because in those people's religion they done knocked out. How you gonna have a Last Supper with no women? Who cooked the food? I'm not saying that to be sexist. I don't want no meal with just men. They cook the food too. No, bring some women up in that bad boy and let them also sit down by the table and have their faces shown. Anything good and natural, you gotta understand it. I'm gonna say this, and I'll read off the other stuff too. Evil doesn't like it. Evil doesn't like the natural things that our Creator has given us. It's all right. They're jealous of that because they're not of this realm. They're not of this earth. They don't even have souls, these people, and they're jealous of our joy in our natural state. That's why they don't want us to be happy in our natural state. They want us altering ourselves. They want us not having love for each other. They love it. They probably watch the nightly news and have orgasms. Oh, the black people are killing each other. This feels so good. Something's wrong. See, they want to be a God beside God. They hate it when you can go to your backyard and pick off a papaya and eat it, and they didn't have nothing to do with taxing you to get what was given to you naturally. Ain't that something? Who the hell you think you are? But for my people here and globally, who the hell you think you are? You're the original. You're the caretaker of this earth. You have power. You have melanin. You have, oh man. You don't know who you are, but you think you're something less. That's why when these little things come around you, to offer you, kill off your bloodline, you accept it. I'm talking in code too, I mean, I'm not scared to talk. I just want to be able to come on this one and talk to get the people to come over to Lancescurv.com. And again, I'm going to say it. Sometimes you might not see me certain places. Things are going to crack down so bad and censorship. The only place you can go then to hear this stuff with me, at least, is over on Lancescurv.com, my website. Don't forget that. There's so many people forget it. When I got striked off, I didn't see you no more. I thought you unsubscribed. I can't unsubscribe somebody. I can't do that. No way. But yeah, cook at home. Even with basic ingredients, cooking your own meals give you control over what goes into your body. Grow your own food if possible. Start small with herbs and vegetables, even in urban areas. Limit processed foods. Avoid boxed, canned, and packaged goods as much as possible. Drink more water. Replace sugary drinks with water to reduce sugar intake. Choose whole grains. Opt for whole grains over refined products. Let me just tell you something else, what I know. We got to stay away from the wheat, y'all. The wheat is no good. The wheat is no good. I might have to do a show just on wheat. I don't care if it's got color in it. It's not the white bread, but it's the brown bread. They can dye this stuff, and it doesn't matter. We as a people really shouldn't be eating wheat. Knock wheat out your diet for a month and tell me how you feel. Take it out. Have different kinds of grains, not the kind of breads that are mixed with wheat. They say, oh yeah, it's got oats, it's got spelt, it's got wheat. Yes, it has a little wheat, and you look, and the wheat is the biggest thing in there. Just a sales pitch to capitalize on our lack of investigating what we put in our body. Even without going to the gym. You don't have to go to the gym. You walk, you do exercise, body weight and everything. I was reading something that was very, very interesting. Floor exercises. Now, you know, I used to do bodybuilding and all that stuff, and I'm realizing this as an older man. You know, the other day, a couple months ago, when the guys were in here doing the ceilings, they had to put scaffolds up and, you know, to be able to reach the ceilings and do what they had to do with the design of the ceiling. So certain rooms were completely blocked off. And I had to climb up on the scaffold, not a scaffold like on the side of a building, but just, you know, they have the wood built up maybe 4 feet up and to reach up to the ceiling, because the ceiling's here high. So instead of going under it, which was impossible with all the stuff dropping down, I had to climb up on it. I felt awkward. I did it. I'm still in good shape, but it was a different feeling. And they were saying in this article how children have more relationships with the floor, which keeps them stronger. But as we get older, get down on the floor, lay down on your back, lay on your stuff, whatever, and try to get up. Yeah, you can get up, but it feels awkward. We need to have that relationship with the ground, especially when we exercise. That's a whole other different show. I'm researching some things on that. Eat more vegetables. Incorporate a variety of vegetables in your diet, whether fresh or frozen. Educate yourself. Learn about nutrition and share that knowledge with others. Shop at local markets. Seek out farmers markets or cooperatives that offer fresh produce. Limit fast food. Cut back on fast food, or cut it all out, and prepare alternatives at home. Exercise regularly. Physical activity is key in maintaining health and combating the effects of poor diet. What did I say that everybody here, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, but we all heard these, but we don't do them. Just those simple things. Things that we thought were corny many years ago when we were growing up. Yeah, I don't eat my vegetables, whatever. But these things are life-giving. You see, it's not just enough to be alive. We want to be living. I got plans, y'all. I have dreams and aspirations. And they want to pull the rug from under our feet and pull us down by attacking our food. We used to make fun of a brother. We didn't make fun of him. No, I'll take that back because he might hear this. But he was quite ahead of his time. I'll say his name. He's a bodybuilder, but I think he's got to be in his late 70s now. Phenomenal body. I knew he might have dipped and dabbed in some substances, but other than that, and that's a personal choice. Charlie Thomas. I know he doesn't mind me saying his name. If he ever runs across this blog, I want to get back in contact with him. Oh man, I know he'll give us a good interview, right? But he had an energy about him, right? Now, he was a competitive bodybuilder. He was well up there, not super duper, super professional. He was an amateur, but he was a top amateur, right? And he went to the gym they used to go to, just like a lot of top amateurs and some professionals. And that's where I got a lot of my information hands-on. Some information I didn't want to know about. about steroids. I never took steroids. The guys talking, I learned a lot about it. And so people come to me, well, what do you know about this? What that? I said, I don't want to tell you this because I don't believe in that stuff. But anyway, he was one who depended more on nutrition than any other substance. And so I learned from seeing these guys. He was very strict on his diet, very strict. And he used to always say, and he had an animated way of him. He was always hyped. His eyes were what? And I know he was not taking hard drugs, right? I know before competition, he did them things, you know what I mean? For the 8 weeks or 12 weeks before the competition. And he would always, Lance, you got to be careful, man. They taking us off and on food, and that's the way they're going to do us in the future. And we got to, almost like he wasn't crying, but his expression, man, no. If he sees a guy coming in the gym with something bad, like, and the guy would say, man, this is the off season. I'm not training for a competition. And my friend Charlie would say, man, this is not about a competition, man. It's about your life. They taking us off and on food. And that's the thing that he said. They're taking us off on our food. So they would say, who are they? They try to run him through the mill, and he'd break it down. But I understood. And that's something that and this was 1981, 1982 when he was saying this. And look, it's 2024. And I'm not saying the whole world heard him or whatever, but there were people like him talking, but nobody wanted to hear. You see what I mean? But it's frightening what they're trying to do to us. We can't turn anywhere. And like I said earlier to my dear sister, I said in America, it feels like the walls are closing in. And out here, I don't really see the walls, but I can see that whatever walls are out there symbolically, they're going to start closing in. I just came over here and got a little more time from the hitting so hard. But we're going to have to be able to part with a lot of things in order for just to merely survive. I seriously feel that. I'm going to take a look at some of these comments. I'm going to drop the link just in case anybody wants to come in. This mouse acts right. Okay, here we go. I was in my own world for a second, y'all. Pardon me. No, I'm like this all the time. I think things, read things, and I just love the intelligence here in the drama-free chat room family we have here. It's peaceful. Let me see. Thanks to Clark said, remember the classic rap from Houdini in 1985, Escape? I need a permanent break from them other folks. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Earth Angel says, I'm seeing lots of people right in between with bone issues. Exactly. I like the way you spelled that. That's algorithm proof talk right there. Because they come after people in the chat rooms. I mean, they may not come after you or a channel if you're not making content, or whether if you are making content, but they'll come at me for stuff that's put in the chat room. And come at people too. It's crazy. Yeah, that's the club, but that weed is somewhat addictive, especially honey weed. Gonna have to wean myself off. And yes, there's other things. Spelt is excellent, and they say they have to say or call it spelt wheat or whatever, but it's not wheat. I'm gonna look back into that because spelt is a little easy to get in America, and they keep that back here. It's like they don't push it as much, and I know why. It's those corporations. But the spelt, it doesn't have that bloat. It doesn't give you that feeling. And there's things about it that's just not good. And I have to get up on my facts on that. I can say some things at the top of my head, but I don't want to mislead anybody. But the wheat, man, the wheat. Dr. Clark says, I love my green vegetables now as a grown middle-aged Black man. It took me a while to get this way, though. It's life-giving. It's life-giving. It is. I dropped this link again and chit-chat a little bit and interact with the chat room. I was going to do a video after this. I'm like, why am I lying to myself? I look so tired. Oh, you had a long day and you were out, and which is good. You're walking, you're in the sun. But I'm like, if I put my face in front of a camera now, you'll get so scared. I'll do it in the morning as soon as I wake up, because what I have to do tomorrow, I don't have to do anything early. My next week is set, and I'm very happy about that. And I got to prepare for next week, and all my shows next week will be on time. Right now it's Friday, so we have a show later on. Don't know what it's going to be, but I want to thank Gina E for the suggestion of this show. And I'm open to talk about anything. I love to research. I love to read, and then put a little scurvinative energy in there when we talk about things, because I'm not gonna hold back. I'm not gonna hold back. You know, food has become the new drug, cheap, accessible, and destructive. As a society, we are eating ourselves into early age, driven by corporate greed and manipulated by industries that prioritize profit over health. While some may see this as a hopeless battle, we must recognize the power we have to change our eating habits, educate our communities, and prioritize health over convenience. By making small changes and becoming more mindful of what we consume, we can break the cycle of addiction, reclaim our health, and protect future generations from the toxic consequences of modern food. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Why did my phone make that? You ever have a phone for a long time? You're used to the chirps and the sounds that you have set, and all of a sudden it makes a noise that you don't even know, like it's like a demon possessed phone. Like, is that my phone? Ah, oh, I'm so sorry. I missed that message. You know, oh man. And I've been trying to work on my email subscription plugin, but to no avail. It's just new now. They changed it around. I may have to use a different one, but still subscribe. It's there on Lancescurv.com. On the left panel, you scroll down a little bit and you'll see where it says subscribe, and add your email address. When I start, I'm not going to sit there and blast out every day. It'll be more of a catch up thing. I don't mean mustard catch up. I mean catching up. Where the shows we had all week, I'll probably put it out on a Sunday, and you'll see all the shows, explanations. You can pick and choose what you want to see, because it's not like there's other stuff to see out here. You know, the world doesn't revolve around me, but I just want to make sure that there's something that you want to see that you didn't miss, you know? But yeah, let me see. Yes, time to fast, affirmate, meditate for the real souls. Yes, indeed. It's only a few of us left. 144,000. Yes, indeed. Wow. Let me see. Oh yeah. I remember that. I remember that. I was wise. I was 10 years old at the time, but I saw it later on. And see, a lot of things in these movies we see from back in the day, man, it's quite prophetic. You know, so there's so much to talk about worthwhile, and they keep feeding us just stuff. And I was telling somebody today, uh, how embarrassed I'm scared to go on my phone and go on Instagram now. I'm scared. I'm not scared of a half naked woman, but they're pushing that on Instagram so much. And you open up your screen in public, you're in the supermarket, somebody's standing next to you looking at your screen. Like if I'm on a van out here and you open, and here it comes. Take what your mama gave you. Like, these people are gonna think I'm a creep. I mean, they're passing through, and most men look at things like that anyway, but my mind just, I see these things, man, but I'm not looking. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm a fully functional man. I'm married. My mind is on putting in the work. Putting the work. Let's have those conversations. Let's have something we can walk away from where we feel the mental and spiritual nutrition with a few jokes in there. Yeah, good energy, you know? Best time to be alive. You're right. We just have to know how to navigate these times and what's coming at us. Like I said, it's not just a matter of bombs and nuclear weapons and stuff. They're getting us in other ways for decades, and it's going to get worse. Going to get worse. Listen, y'all, I'm going to hit the sack. It's actually 2 a.m. on the button out here. And of course, I can go on longer, but the main thing is to just keep on throwing punches every day. Boom, 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 boom. I started the show at 12:45, so I don't feel bad because I wasn't going to go to sleep until I did something, It was a long day. I'm going to sleep late. We're going to come back with some more things. I might do a show early. I know I have to make a run, but I might do some things early. I was going to do more shorts today, but I didn't have a chance. But I'm going to do it chock full of, it gets busy for me next week, not in the time of the shows, but in the daytime. So I'm going to get it in. And I'm gonna still get it in next week when things are busy at the house here, but I'm gonna get it in. So I got my plan. So I just want to keep on coming with the content and some stuff that's interesting. Keep sharing it, liking it, and all that stuff. If you don't like it, let me know. Say, hey man, I didn't like that one, or I like these type of shows or this type of style or whatever. I'm open. I want to grow and I want to appeal to you because you're of the highest class that I know out here in cyberspace. You know what I mean? And many people can talk it, but we're far and few between really out here in the world. And it's quite refreshing for me to be able to vibe and talk with my family here on a regular basis because it keeps me going. My mind moves real fast, thinking about things. Who else? Can I talk to some dude called, hey man, I'm going tonight, man. Them honeys man, they be wearing some tight shit, man. I gotta go up there and snag me one. Do I want to hear that? Grown men, that's all you could think about. And it's a wonderful thing. Like I was speaking to my sister there, I said, sex is a wonderful thing. It's part of life. We all get horny. Yes, we do. But that's all you're going to do. Like when I used to work in the jail, work in a prison. Oh, God, it's everybody's masturbating. It's like, it's a sport. You know what I mean? You wake up and go to bed. I remember one inmate there, he would say, man, I can't wait to get out of here, man. I'm just passing the time by. I'm tired of doing this, man. I can't do it no more, man. I said, what you mean? Well, today I'm just exhausted. I could just lay around. I said, see, why don't you pick up a book, man? Why don't you have a good conversation, whatever? And that's one thing I made sure to do. When I would use day rooms, when all the cells were open and you have a couple dozen dudes sitting around you, we talking. They talk, we talk something new on a different level. I've had to, yo, man, Lance, I like that shit you be talking, man. You be talking different. What you mean different? Just, I'm no scholar. I'm just trying to relate. And I will throw in some men jokes in there after a while, you know what I mean? Just to keep it spicy. But let's relate. Every number known to man, no matter what the number, you can take another number. And if it doesn't seem like you take a fraction, and one thing is 1/6, and the other thing is 1/5. You can't add 1/6 and 1/5 together. You got to find the common denominator. If it's 1/6, let's just say multiply that times 5 so it can become 30. And you take the 5 and multiply it by 6 to become the 30. So now you have so much of, it's 30 the same, and you can add them, then you break them back down again. When I see people, no matter how challenging it is, I know I can find the common denominator. I can find it. It may not be worth it to take the energy if they're not really interested in coming to a common place with you to vibe, right? I'm not anybody's savior. I'm not trying to save the world. I'm just trying to share the world. Just trying to share my world a little bit. If you can get something out of it, if you can come to my all-you-can-eat cerebral restaurant and get some plate that you like, then I did my job. Then I don't have to go and transition with the seeds of greatness in my hand and say, God, I didn't do anything with these. It's a crime. You better use these bad boys when you have it. What was it? The old cell phone company that was different than anybody else. You don't have rollover seeds to greatness when you transition. You better use it now. Like those cell phone companies that if you don't use your time by the end of the month, it doesn't roll over. So if you think I have to be easy with this, no, use it because it doesn't roll over. I hope I'm making sense. Just want to say that I love you all righteously. Thank you. We're gonna come back to one now. No, it may be late again. Late for me because I'm 4 hours ahead of the East Coast, but it may not be 5 o'clock Eastern time because what I have to do and pick up tomorrow will be at the end of business hours, and I'll be far away. But we gonna do a show. I might sometime at some point tomorrow take the phone, which I hate to do, and do a live on the phone, not as a replacement, right? But just a little add-on, like say, hey, take a look at this, because the phone does not come off like the real camera. Like I said, I'm getting one of those soon, and my streams will be real clear, a new camera, right? Not the cams that I use that are fuzzy. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me skedaddle. Thank you all for being here. I see you all here. I didn't have a chance to acknowledge everybody. You know I saw you. You know I saw you. So anyway, let me run, and we'll see each other tomorrow. Much love to you all. Take care. Tomorrow's another day. May you be in good health, state of mind. Preserve yourself. Keep your head on the swivel. But life is good, and we're going to make sure to keep it that way by the information we share here. All right? Much love to you all. Peace.
Kill the stress to the heat. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Can't be a real, might get you canceled. The whole system need to dismantle. Coppers treated like the utmost wanted. Tryna rule the block but don't know what goes on it. News got a story with a new take on me. Carrying out the window with the screw face on me. But I know that God love me when my burn 95 degrees and I can't get sunburn. Wonder when your government don't make me legal. Burn the whole city if I can't be equal. Get off my please, Brad, I earn that. 400 years, how you still ain't learned that? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Shout out to the trying to gentrify the genre. Tell them free my middle finger to your honor. End of days coming down to seconds on the timer. Goofy still trying to purchase that designer. About to buy, learn to grow my own food. Cause I don't like the look they give me in the Whole Foods. And when you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. But it ain't on me now, I'm limping cause my heavy. But ain't sweet, think we thin. My whole attitude on MC Ren. It's my neighborhood now, Bob, I bought that. 400 years, how you still ain't caught that? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war